Hey, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. Just throwing a word out there. There's a lot of YouTubers out there, but nobody ever tells you what kind of equipment to buy. And if they do, they tell you this stuff you really can't afford, especially starting out in this industry. Um, in YouTube, I've learned a few things. Microphones are hard. Cameras are one of those things where you can get away with a lot more than you think. For example, what I'm shooting with now is a camera that I bought, I think at an auction for 40 bucks because nobody wanted it. It is a 4K video camera. I did start out with just an HD camera, and my son's like, hey, they sell these cameras, and I bought one. I think the one that I'm recording with right now, or at least one just like it, for $120. It's a 4K camera, and as you can see, it takes a pretty good picture. It has a hard time with focusing on screens and that type of thing. So later on in life, I will upgrade my cameras, but these are a good thing to start out with, is like this little 8K or a 4K. The problem with 8K is if you're using LED lighting like I do in my garage here, 8K picks up the flicker. So you end up with a flicker in your picture. So I just don't use the 8K. And I've tried lowering it down to 4K, and I still get the flicker, so I'm more apt to believe it's because it's more of a high-definition type of camera. So for now, I just use a little Vivitar. It's a 4K camera, probably costs $120 to $150. I've bought them at auctions. I bought them online. My wife's given one for gifts, that type of thing. And later on in life, yeah, I'll graduate to a better camera. I like these because they have a few features that you can use. This particular one that I'm using right now, matter of fact, I bought this at an auction, and I think I paid $40 or $50 for it. Comes with the remote. They all come with a remote. I've labeled all my remotes with a letter, and I put a letter on my camera. That way I know what remote goes to what camera. At first, you won't be using the remote much, but I use it to start and stop the video, and I use it to, if I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I want you to have a better view, I can zoom in or zoom out with the remote. Now, this particular camera's remote's really bad. It doesn't do things very fast, as you can see, but it allows you to zoom in on the person or yourself, and or zoom out. My other cameras, they got a little bit better mobility, I guess you'd say, or remote ability. With this one, it's almost like you got to point it right at the camera in order to get it to do something. Whereas the rest of them, I don't have to necessarily do that. So with cameras, you can get away with under $150 for a camera. Just get 4K. 4K is going to be enough. Anybody's got a new LED TV that's an 8K, you really don't want to see people with 8K, because seeing some people in 4K is kind of scary enough, but 8K is really bad. The next thing you're going to buy for your camera is a way to hold it up, and I started out life with the, $20 to $40 tripod that you get on Amazon, and found that while these work well for a beginner, once you get a good one, the one that the camera's on right now, I got first. I got one of that at an auction. I think I paid, it's about $150 tripod, and I think I paid 50 bucks for it. And then I got this one, which is a Neewer. And one of the things that you notice is the better the tripod you have, the better the action. Now, I don't like this one because it doesn't have a handle like that one. I've got the handle facing me, and that way if I'm using it, I can move it around wherever I am. And my next one I'm picking up Monday, I won it at an auction. I think I won it for 30 bucks, one of those Amazon auctions. And it's remote control. So I'm really curious about that one. I'm hoping that it's this type of quality or that type of quality with a remote. That would be fantastic, because this is the most recent one I got, and I really like this one because it has a quick disconnect on the camera. It flows. It's very smooth. Like, you turn here, you can turn here, it turns slower. This goes up 70 inches. You can tip it. You can flip it upside down, hang the camera down underneath it. So this is a really nice one. And then of course I've got some small ones, like I've got the little tiny ones, the magnet mounted one, and then I've got the one for your phone, where you mount your phone on it. And there's a couple different ways you can do it, but you just unscrew it, you put your phone on there, and let me put it on there real quick. Get it on there. Just a second. There it goes. But I can put it on this, and then it mounts to the camera. So that's another way you can do it. So it's definitely kind of a neat way to do it. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things you can do for your tripods and that type of thing. One of the things I'm going to emphasize the most is microphones. Oh my goodness. And you've seen in some of my videos where I forget to turn them on, turn them off, that kind of thing. I got these little ones. There's 3 of them in the set. So you have a receiver and then 2 transmitters. The transmitter is sitting there plugged into the back of that camera that I'm recording on, and then this is the transmitter that transmits it to that receiver. It has a little volume control. Control so you can actually see it going through. You can check on the other end, make sure it's on, and please do make sure it's on. Comes with a little case. Excuse me. I started life with this, just a little lapel microphone, and these work well. They don't last very long, but they work well. But this one came with 2 microphones and a receiver, so I can have 2 people with microphones on, or I can have 2 microphones in 2 different areas, and it'll pick up from both of those microphones. The only thing is, this was a little over, I think, $130 or something of that nature, but they're well worth it because the sound quality is so much better and so much easier. I mean, I've got this thing, this far away from me, and I can actually move it farther away because when I edit my software, I have to lower the volume down because these pick up everything, and it picks it up very, very well. So you've got to be real careful on that. And then of course you've got the boom microphone the cheap microphone that comes with the camera. They work, but it's got to be close to you. Otherwise, it's not, these are nothing fantastic. The kit you buy with the camera that's got all the junk on it, you really don't need that stuff. You're going to find later on that you're not going to use this. I've got 4 of these things because of all the cameras I have. They all came with one, and I don't use any of them. I use these microphones because I like them. But that's kind of then the ins and outs. Memory cards, you got to be real careful. Don't scrimp on memory cards. I went out and bought a cheap 1 terabyte memory card. It's one of the small ones, and then I put it in the adapter, and I was using it to film video, and when it got to editing, it was a mess. It just had a very hard time with that size of a memory card. I don't know if it was the camera or what it was, but 256 is about the most you really need. I'm running 128 memory little SIM cards in all my cameras, and some of them, like the one I'm doing right now, is a 32. You really don't need a lot of space unless you plan on videoing all day. Speaking of that, these batteries that are in these cameras, while they come with 2 of them, there's a reason they don't last very long. So on top of that, I started life, I always had this little power supply, and I don't remember how many milliwatts it is, but it's halfway decent sized. And then I got offered the ability to test a 50,000 milliwatt battery backup. This thing's a brick, and it's an animal because I can film all day long and maybe use 20%. So I do suggest you get yourself a battery backup. This one I like because it's got a handle, so I can hang it on my tripod wherever I might be. The other one doesn't have anything, but this one I can just grab a little hanger and hang it right on the thing and plug it into my camera, and I'm good to go. But that kind of gives you a rundown of the equipment that you just barely have to have. With reference to content, there are 2 different kinds of people that do content. I'm a little bit more serious than most. I don't joke around or goof off. I kind of get the job done, and that's kind of always been my way, is to try to give you as much information as possible, and sometimes I don't give you enough because you get into the work that you're doing and you don't have time to describe what you're doing. Like the Nova video where I'm pulling apart the fenders and everything, I'm under the car half as much as I'm above the car, and I don't have different camera angles. I have multiple cameras. I have done multiple camera editing. And if you're just putting out one video a week, that's all fine and good. Go ahead and use, multiple cameras, because you're going to have to edit all that stuff together. The issue I have is, well, one camera uses this remote and one camera uses this remote, so I can't go record and have them all start at the same time. It would be nice, because then I could have multiple angles, put them into my editing software all together, and they'll all videotape the way they'll all videotape together, so I just can move back and forth between the cameras. But editing is a whole nother animal, and I kind of paid attention to what folks out there use. I use a program called Wondershare. It's out of China, I believe. It's $22 a month for the enhanced package. You can have the regular software with no frills for pretty much, I think it's free. But if you want the FX and all that kind of stuff, you get more features the more you pay for it. Adobe would love to have it, but it's up there. The same with the cameras. When you're starting out on YouTube, this system is working for me, mainly because these cameras are $120 at most a piece. I think I've got 4Ks now that I either bought at auctions or I bought, got for gifts or what have you. So I've got plenty of equipment. So if one breaks or one doesn't work, I just move on to the next one. With that, that's kind of the way everything is. If you have any questions on the YouTube thing, definitely shoot me a note. Followers are hard to get. Once you start getting followers, it gets a little bit easier. You'll jump in spurts, just depending upon the material that you do, and I'm all over the place. I've had so many people ask me, why is it taking so long to do the Nova? Well, prime example is last week I had to do the transmission in the Jeep. Week before that, I had to go out and take care of the yard. There are things that I do in life. I have a full-time job along with my wife, so the YouTube thing is kind of a backup plan as I move forward through YouTube to get my followers and bring people along with me. I fix that pretty much everything in the house. I don't have an issue with doing I can do everything from drywall to plumbing to electrical, as you've seen in my videos. But things have to be done in real life as things need to be done. If I didn't have a full-time job and I was a full-time YouTuber, hey, I could do all the cool stuff, crank out videos every 3 days with multiple camera angles, hire staff, or an editor, something of that nature, but I don't. It's just me. And I've got the follower number, I've got the subscriber number, I just don't have the hours watched. So if you are watching my videos, please do me a favor and watch them all. There's some old stuff you'll see back in the beginning when I was starting out with the lapel camera, and wasn't even I think it was an HD camera, all the way through today. And now I've got a little bit better equipment. Still running the same cameras, but I've got a little bit of better equipment. Maybe for Christmas this year, if budget allowing, I'll go with a little bit better camera. Most of my focus on money has been upgrading my shop. Buying tools, I probably spent, a bazillion dollars, I don't know how much, but I've upgraded all my tools. That way, if I run into a situation and I need to do something, like I needed to do that gas tank thing, and I'm like, why don't I go buy a brake? And Harbor Freight had one that was cheap, so I bought it. It's one of those things where as you go through this, you learn, I need this or I need that. You don't really need it right now, or you may not need it now. With the auctions, it's been kind of nice because I've been able to upgrade a lot of my tools through the auctions. I probably have saved, thousands buying these products through auctions. I buy EV chargers left and right, and that's pretty much what's funding my YouTube channel and keeping me with kind of a balanced budget. I won't say it's a balanced budget. I've still got way more going out than coming in, and that's a tax advantage for me and my wife. But once again, once YouTube gets full tilt, then yeah, I'll be able to give this up and retire from what I do and just do YouTube full time. But that relies a lot on you guys and the subscriptions. The more subscribers that you get, the more hours watched you get. Once you hit, I believe it's 5,000 subscribers and 3,000 hours, you begin to earn on YouTube. But what I've found is once I got over 10,000 followers, all of a sudden these automotive manufacturers are sending me things like that Diag tool. Those folks are really good to me. I've got a couple of their products, and I'm really happy with the products that they send. But I can, start testing out these products for you guys. Which I'd love to get in with Harbor Freight, but for now I'm showing you. A prime example is this cart that everything's sitting on that I roll around pretty much wherever I go. I've had one of these carts forever, and I've dragged this thing around forever. And this year I upgraded it and added more to it. But that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing, and I hope that you enjoy watching me do this. And a lot of you have given me ideas on how to upgrade this cart even more. A prime example was I got a yardstick that I bought at one of the auctions. It's an aluminum yardstick, and I paid $5 for it. And what I was going to do is route her into the top of the of this, and then put some screw holes in this ruler and mount the ruler on the rolly cart. But those are the kind of ideas that I want from you guys. I like from you guys that help me not only offer you more content, but offer you more ideas on how to upgrade what we have. When we're on a budget and we don't have $1 million and we can't afford, like this motor I'm building in the Nova, I've been working on this I think I've dragged around the crankshaft and a lot of the engine parts for more than 25 years. I've gathered a little bit here and a little bit there, and as I've gathered up, I've been able to build, I finally got to the point where I could build my engine. An engine I bought on Marketplace for $50. So it's not like I have the budget that a lot of the car shows have. And just like you guys, I build on a budget. I've got a family, a home, a job that I've got to do. So, I've got to take care of family first. Car parts are secondary. Just like most of the car parts that I buy now are based on my bonuses that I earn at work. If I get a really good bonus, I'll take half of it and pay off the tools that I bought from the auctions and or wherever else, and then I take the other half and I buy parts. Like right now I've got my A-arms, but I don't have my drop spindles, I don't have my vented rotors, I don't have the coilover shocks. So, that stuff all takes money. So I'm not going to rush into something before I can afford to do it. Let's put it that way. Like I'm not going to pull apart the front of this car until I have all the parts to do it. Then I'll do it. But for right now, I've got to get this firewall and everything done. But again, it's all about the equipment and how you're doing your YouTube channels. I think that I heard the best one from Vice Grip Garage, Tony Angelo, who has, sorry, Tony, I can't remember what your channel is. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'll flash it on the screen for you. But he had asked Derek at Vice Grip Garage, what suggestions do you give for someone who's going to do YouTube? And Derek, without batting an eyelash, said, yeah, don't do it. There's a lot involved in this. So if you're going to do it, you've got to dedicate time and effort to it. What I mean is I probably produce enough material to do 10 shows in a week, but I condense it down to chunks. So that takes time. That takes editing. Editing, I'll spend, probably 16 to 25 hours a week on just editing alone. Putting stuff into software isn't just that simple. It doesn't do it all for you. Although AI is coming, and I think my software's got it. I just haven't tried it yet. Created some music with it, which I thought was kind of interesting. But for the most part, being a YouTube personality or a social media personality requires a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time. I think Diesel Dave here in Utah, he's a prime example of shorts. He's got a team that does probably 5 to 10 shorts a week, and those shorts are what get you some of your viewers, because they see your short, they're like, oh look, that guy's got a channel, that's kind of something I'm interested, and they go that direction. So that's one of the areas that you can use to get more subscribers. I've done a lot of my subscribers came from shorts, and a lot of my subscribers came from you guys liking and sharing. When you like and share, you push that material out there for more people to see, and the more people that see it, the more people that come and subscribe. So that's the real challenge with YouTube, is get that subscriber base. Once you've got the subscriber base up over 10,000, then the work really starts, because now you got to get to 1 million. Because the only way you're going to retire doing YouTube is having well over 250,000 to 1 million subscribers, because then things get monetized, and that's where the YouTuber makes their money, is off of ads that are monetized, and sponsors. If you get sponsors, that's a great thing. I don't have any. Diag Tool, I say they're one of my sponsors. They're not sponsoring my videos, but they're sponsoring me with equipment. So technically, I consider that a sponsor. If Harbor Freight gave me a wrench, and they're a sponsor. A lot of the reviews that I do on the Harbor Freight stuff, I do them because I want you guys to know, this stuff works, this stuff doesn't. Same with Amazon. Amazon, there's a ton of stuff. The top end of that motor is Amazon. Speeding rods is one of the people that I buy parts from. My cam, my lifters, all that internal stuff, that's all American-made stuff. The stuff on the outside, the turbos and that kind of thing, I believe are knockoffs, or I don't remember where I got them. I got eBay. I do a lot on eBay, do a lot on Amazon, but the intake manifold and heads were Amazon products. Now here's the kicker to that, is if you go back and watch the video on it, these Amazon parts, you got to do some work to them. But just in general, to get started in YouTube, a good tripod, good mic set, good camera, and good content. Do something that you love to do and share it with the world. That's what I do. I love to work on my cars. For me, it's relaxing. And yeah, I know that sounds weird, because I know that some of you out there get frustrated. And, I've seen it in the past. I've worked with people that get frustrated. If you're frustrated, that isn't a passion. A passion is something you love to do. Love to ride motorcycles? Ride motorcycles. Take a camera with you. People, show them the beautiful sights that you see. If you love photography, show people the photography. But, there are a host of things that you can do. And that's why whatever I'm doing that weekend, I'm going to video it, be it the water filter, be it the electrical, be it the EV, be it whatever. I'm going to record it so that you guys know. Prime example is the Arnold blade that I put on my tractor. There are no instructions per se. They say, if it's this tractor, do this. If this tractor, do that. But there's no instructions. So I showed people, okay, do this, do this, do this. And that video is the second highest rated video that I have. My first highest rated video is one of my worst ones from the very beginning of time, when I created my circuit board for my car. With my relays and all that kind of stuff. That thing's got well over 15 to 20,000 views, because someone's interested. People are afraid of that kind of thing. So it's something I love to do. I love the detail. So, it's one of those things where I love to do that. So therefore that content probably means more to people, because I enjoy doing it. Same with the body work on the Nova. Everybody said, why did it take so long? My wife looks at it, she goes, it's perfect. I look at it, I don't see perfection. I see the little tiny imperfections, because I want it to be right. And that's the kind of content that I want to produce for you guys, is I want to produce content that's right. So this is basically the equipment that I use. And once I've got that video, the tripod, the remote control tripod, I'll definitely do a quick video on that one so you guys can see that. If you have any questions about the YouTube experience, how to get started in it, definitely shoot me a note. I don't have any issue teaching what I've learned so far. And if you're new to the Amazon affiliates thing. I just got invited to do that, just created a page. If you go up into my description, you'll actually see the link to it, the tools that I buy and that kind of thing I put on there. But definitely something I don't know yet. My daughters seem to know how to do it, so I'm waiting on them to show me. But if you know how to do it, definitely shoot me a note, shoot me a video, point me in the direction where I don't have to pay somebody to tell me how to do it. There's one thing I can't stand is, do this, and send me a check and I'll teach you how to do that. I'm not into that. I don't have time for that. While I'd like to have a subscriber base that pays to be subscribers for that little extra, I don't do the little extra because I don't have time. I have a life outside of YouTube. I have a full-time job. Like I said, my wife has a full-time job. We're older in age. I enjoy my wife a lot, so I like to spend time with her. So that takes away from YouTube time too. Again, when I retire in 2 years, I'll be able to give you all the YouTube content you want. But for now, I give what I can do, and that's all you can do is offer what you can to everybody out there. Be it whatever it might be, the goofiest things you think might not be interesting to you, or there are things that you do that you just do are interesting to someone else. Believe it or not, people out there are looking for things to watch, to learn. Every time I run into an issue with something, I go to YouTube. I search YouTube. Used to be you have to go to the library or ask somebody who knows. Now you just go to YouTube or the internet, find what you need. So even if you think your content isn't a lot of content about anything, believe you me, there's someone out there that will watch it that needs to know that kind of thing. And that's kind of why I do what I do. This whole car build, the YouTube channel is based around custom cars and that kind of thing, but not every day is a custom car. Some days are, some days aren't. Some days are whatever needs to be fixed in the garage gets fixed first. Whatever needs to be fixed in the house needs to be fixed first. And I suggest when you do your channel, you do the same thing. If you're doing a multitude of things, offer that multitude of things to everybody else to advertise or anything that I do on social media. So I can't bring what I do over there over here, but I guarantee you in time when I retire, I will start teaching leadership classes. If you have a small business and you're trying to get off the ground, definitely shoot me a note. I do that. I'll give you a couple hours of my time for nothing, as long as you're close. Now, if I got to go somewhere, you got to pay for the gas. But for the most part, if you're here in the Utah area and you want to learn something outside of the car stuff, like business kind of things, running a small business, and or if your business is struggling, you don't know why or you don't know how to fix it, that's really what my specialty is. At least my work specialty. And as I said, it's one of those things I can't share. My passion now is YouTube. I love YouTube because I love to teach. I've got a master's in education now and a master's in business. So I've combined the two of them to take me to this point with YouTube. So again, that's kind of what it is. That kind of gives you a little bit of the equipment that I use and kind of how I do stuff. Please do me a big favor, like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, definitely throw me a comment or two. Definitely like to give feedback, and if you look at my notes, I try to answer everyone I can. Try to keep your feedback positive. There's enough trolls out there on the internet. We really don't need more. So let's keep everything positive. With that, like, share, subscribe. See you in the next video.